Another month and another new SUV, except this one isn't an all-new SUV. The second generation Duster that's just gone on sale abroad isn't headed our way. What this really is the facelifted version of the Duster we are already familiar with. It gets revised styling on the outside, a few tweaks on the inside, and the variant and feature list also sees some changes. So let's see it in more detail. The Duster's chunky shape has aged quite well, and the latest round of changes help hide the Renault's vintage further. The visual updates are not comprehensive, but interestingly some were necessitated by regulation. To comply with latest pedestrian protection norms, for instance, the hard points behind the restyled front bumper have been redone and the bonnet line has been raised as well. The contoured new bonnet adds some mass to the front too. Lower down, there's a slightly larger new grille that's big on bling, while projector lenses for the headlights and LED daytime running lights are welcome upgrades as well. Full LED headlights would have been nicer still. Viewed in profile, the attractive new machined alloy wheels are the biggest giveaway that the Duster you're looking at is the latest one. The small strip of chrome lining the base of the window line is new too. I do wish Renault upgraded the lift-type door handles as well. They just aren't a very premium first point of contact. At the rear, there's nothing new save for the addition of plastic cladding that flanks the tail lamps. Renault has made a few tweaks to the interior as well. So what's it like on the inside? Well, before I get into all the details, let me just tell you one thing, that this is not what you'd call a really cutting edge cabin. You can tell that this is an old car that's been made to keep up with the times. That being said, people familiar with the Duster will notice this new steering, which is quite nice to look at and even nicer to hold. There are new fonts on the instruments console. There's a second glove box now at the top of the dashboard, and this nice body color detailing on the inside that adds a bit of color. The center console has also been redone with these new rectangular aircon vents, and what is really a welcome addition is the inclusion of an updated infotainment system. The 7-inch touchscreen unit now gets Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and there's even a new eco readout that scores drivers on efficient driving. However, the screen is set too low for easy reference, and if you have your phone plugged in, you'll also have to live with the wire obstructing the screen. Elsewhere too, the ergonomics aren't perfect. The steering audio controls are hidden from view, so you'll have to use trial and error initially to get to the right function. Also, the driver's seat height adjust just feels rudimentary. In terms of comfort and practicality though, there's nothing new to report of. You sit at a nice height, the flat seats are more supportive than they appear, and there is reasonable room in the cabin too. As always, the 475-litre boot is large enough to accommodate big suitcases. Of the other things, the Duster now complies with latest safety norms and gets dual airbags, ABS, rear parking sensors, front seatbelt reminders, and a speed warning system as standard. The variants have also been rejigged with this update, with the Duster now available in 4 trims. Sadly, the top spec RX-Z is now offered only on the 110 PS diesel manual and AMT. Our pick of the Duster line, the surprisingly capable AWD version, has also been downgraded to RX SO trim, which means it misses out on items like a reverse camera, rear wiper, auto climate control, and cruise control. The Duster's engine and gearbox options though remain unchanged. There's a 106 horsepower 1.5-litre petrol engine available with a manual gearbox and CVT auto. There's also an 85 HP 1.5 diesel with a 5-speed manual and a 110 HP 1.5 diesel with a 6-speed manual and AMT options. Renault hasn't made any mechanical changes to the Duster, so here's a quick recap of what the Duster is like. I'm driving the 110 PS diesel version, and as before, refinement at low speeds is pretty good. The engine pulls quite nicely, and performance on the whole is quite friendly. Do note, Renault is yet to find a viable solution to make the 1.5 diesel engine BS6 emission norms compliant, and there is a chance it might be discontinued by April 2020. So if you simply must have a diesel Duster, now would be a good time to get one. There are other reasons to consider the Duster for too. As ever, one of the highlights of the Duster is its ride quality. It's really sure-footed at high speeds, it's absorbent on bad roads, and the overall feeling that you get is that this is a car that's just built to take a beating. So there you have it, priced between 7.99 and 12.49 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the refreshed Duster is fairly good value for a 4.3 meter long SUV. Sure, it's not up there with the latest mid-size models in glitz and frills, but there's a certain honesty to the Duster that still makes it alluring. Loyalists at the very least will see it as a hardy SUV that gets the basics right. Done and dusted? Not yet.